So today's kind of a special day. Today is May 1st. Today is the beginning of the governor's relaxation of opening up the state. So I think we got Mike Abalon who's doing some field reconnaissance for us on kind of what's happening. So turning our attention to this recovery, it's open for everybody. How do each of you see from your respective perspectives in the commercial real estate industry, how do you see the recovery kind of playing out? Wiki, you're on the legal side, you got clients, Gerald, you got clients that are on the title side, and obviously Mike and I are on the development side. And then Brian, you got a bunch of 2,000 some odd members. So how do each of you see this recovery playing out? And I don't know, Mike, you're out doing the field work, so why don't we start with you?
Yeah, if for those of y'all who I'm giving a bad glare to, I apologize. As you can see, I've got the face mask, and it is Friday. I don't know when you're watching this, but it's Friday right after lunch, and I'm going to a number of places today, and that's in my opinion. That's part of my job, isn't sometimes just to watch and observe and think and try to understand. So actually, I've been going to restaurants. I'll go to a couple more. I'll look at them. And here's what I was interested in. How does it work, and what's the balance between what is a regulatory accepted opening up, whether it's 25% of restaurants today, and then in 2 weeks from today, they move to 50%, versus what's the social acceptance? When are we ready as a society? Are we comfortable? What makes us comfortable in what venue? So what's the balance there? And I think what you're going to find, and we can all hypothecate on, and you'll have the whole pendulum swing of, did we do too much? Did we do not enough? Where are we now? Is it time? Is it not time? I'm on the notion of, I'm just taking the moment for what it is, taking the rule book and where we're at for where it is. We'll all look back in 2 years and we will definitely have learned a lot. We will have the best practices. But as of the moment, where are we? And I would tell you, it might be as you would expect, where it feels comfortable, and those who feel comfortable are going outside, going to restaurants and opening up. Those who think they're not comfortable, they're staying in. So currently, and if I look at occupancy level in restaurants as a barometer, personal comfort, personal emotional safety is trumping the law in the sense of it's the governing parameter. And we'll see how it all opens up. I will say this. For the restaurants I've gone to already today, if you said, are they respecting social distancing? Are they showing a collective conscience of safety, yet opening up? The answer is yes. And what Mike would tell you, Craig, would, if he had more time, he might take, as we've talked about it, the collegiality between the lender, the landlord, and the tenant working together is at the highest point I can tell you I've ever seen in my career. And that's a great statement. In the worst of times, you're seeing more of the best of people. And as a collective group, I look out there right now, and I haven't seen a bunch of crazy hillbillies running around. I've seen people ready to open up and go out and doing it with some self-discipline, which is what we want, what we have to have.
No, great perspective. Gerald or Michael?
Gerald wants you to jump in.
I can kind of jump in real quick. We have been open as a business now for, this whole time period, and we had to adjust in the first weeks or so to be able to operate with people remote and with some people in our office, and then to be able to close deals and transact money to people. Obviously, it's very important. And so, and we actually, even from our residential side, we were doing closings in people's cars. We would bring out the documents and let people sign in their cars so they weren't exposed to anybody. But in the sensitivity of this, we have employees that are older, and they could be compromised, and we got to be very careful with them as well as our clients. And so we have basically said we're going to continue to operate in this environment as we are, and we've done it pretty smoothly with and to be very sensitive to this, what's going on out there, on both sides. And I just think this will continue on for a while for some people till hopefully people feel more comfortable with the testing, et cetera. And then people that are most vulnerable do get to stay home and are able to take care of themselves.
Yeah. Michael?
Yes, it is truly a unique situation. I heard someone describe the current environment. I think it was Mark Gotzer, the Aggie real estate economist. He basically said this is a combination of 9/11, the 2008 Great Recession, and World War II, all colliding because you have the Defense Production Act and the like kicking in. It's truly unique circumstance, and it's had a stranglehold on just about everything and everyone. As everyone tries to reemerge and come out of this, no one size will fit every situation, and every participant, whether it's an employer, an employee, a property owner and their management company, or even the janitorial crew, or the tenants and their operators and their customers and their suppliers, everyone needs to work in concert together. And if they don't, especially all working in concert as a result of, in compliance with the CDC guidelines and other applicable laws, it's just going to be an absolute train wreck and collision. And we very easily could see a resumption of the climb and unflatten the curve if there's a lack of cooperation. And so, as Avalon said, we have been fortunate to see as probably a great communication line occurring between the parties involved, and we just hope that continues. Employers are doing everything from reorienting their space plans to doing different shifts or staggered shifts for different workers, allowing some to work from home, allowing some to come in the office periodically. I mean, it's going to require a lot of flexibility on everyone's behalf. But, for example, we went ahead and had two of our notaries become remote notaries, going through a special process to achieve the closings similar to what Gerald was describing well. And, it's definitely going to be a new world. The light switch isn't going to go on. It's not going to be full power for a while. But, reopening the businesses is a good first step. And Avalon, I think we can give a shout out to Brian Schultz with Studio Movie Grill. Some movie theaters are opening up because Governor Abbott said it's fine. But Brian took the pulse of his employees and customers, and they said, we're ready to go, just not yet.
Right.
And it'll be important not to force people into a circumstance before they're actually ready to embark on it.
And Christian, just for the record, I'd like to clarify, Michael Krywicki is not in his office. That is just a green screen behind him. He's actually got a cigar and a scotch next to his pool. And that's just, so on these webcasts, you got to be careful to get the facts straight. Now, I just want to clarify it for anybody watching us. Krywicki is actually at his pool with a cigar and a scotch, and that whole background is it's just a myth. It's just mythology.
I'm trying to turn the automatic light back on. It hurts speaking. So, and for what it's worth, since we're not on Zoom, my Zoom background is King Kong climbing on the Empire State Building, because not only am I originally from the Northeast, but I figured even King Kong needs to escape somewhere amidst this crisis. So.
There's a great little bar that opened, and this is actually a great telltale story for what we're talking about. And a gentleman opened up named Joe Tollison a bar in the medical district, and he opened it in a little restaurant bar 5 days before the shutdown. So he had a muralist come and do a mural on the wall of, what was her name? The Rivet.
Rosie.
Rosie, what was it, Mike? What was her proper
Rosie
name?
the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter, and she had the face mask on, And they had it on exactly, and they had her on the national news. And
Huh.
I think Rosie the Riveter with the mask ought to be your background crime wiki. I think you need to work on that.
Well, there you go. So, other than the fact that Mike's really on a floaty in his pool, so thanks for calling that out, Mike. Appreciate it.
That's some more of that collegiality I was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys have, the three of you have talked what I would say sort of the micro side of this, and really just for 2 more minutes, my perspective on the macro side is, I think as it relates to the commercial real estate industry, you're going to see some sectors that are going to come back with a vengeance. The good news is, unlike '08, where it was a real structural issue and we went into this thing in a train wreck, this economy and certainly the North Texas region was on fire as far as being healthy and intelligent and developers doing smart things and not overbuilding and not speculative. So I think to come back and come out of this thing, again, at a macro level, I think you'll see sectors probably like logistics that you don't have enough facilities. We're seeing that as a developer in Canada as well as here in the US, probably multifamily still, because, and oddly enough, we're now seeing as a developer, we're seeing some single family multifamily guys really come to the forefront because of the flexibility and the trade-off that people want to have single family living, but multifamily flexibility. So actually, we've got a couple of deals we're working on that are in that space right now. Things like hospitality, probably going to take a little while to come back. So that's my perspective on the near and medium term for the commercial industry, sort of in general. Anyways, I just want to chime in on that one.